said my second quirky stay was going to be very different to the first one. I am not in the middle of the woodland. I am not in a wooden truffle-shaped cabin. I am in a caravan on a roof in the middle of Bristol. Welcome to my second quirky stay. So on this side then, we've just got a little seating area. This time's chocolate treat just there. Behind this little door in the middle, there's a little bathroom. Tiniest sink in the world. Loo, a shower there. It is a caravan, so it's tiny, 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 but it will do. And then on this sside, plenty of storage underneath. Tea and coffee making facilities, a few cubbies there, a worktoppy thing here. And then this is the bed end. Double bed. Skylight here, and there's another one in the bathroom. It's a very different vibe to the first one, but I said I wanted quirky, didn't I? Definitely got that here. I also said I wanted nature, and there's lots of nature in the middle of Bristol, parks and the river and all of that stuff, and you know I'm going to find quirky things to do in the centre of Bristol, a city perhaps known for its quirks, and that is what I'm going to go and find out more about over the next 36 hours or so. Guess I'll take you along with me. And yes, this is the mint Terry's chocolate orange. Not Terry's chocolate orange, Terry's chocolate mint. But you get what I mean. Anyway. Delicious. Yum yum. So this is home for the next 2 nights, just like when I was in the woodland, although this is where the comparisons with Honeydown and the Truffle House are going to finish, because there is no comparison. I'm going to go and explore on foot. I've actually downloaded a tour on an app called GPS My City, and it's supposed to take me through 12 must-see highlights in Bristol city centre. It says it takes a couple of hours, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I thought that would be an excellent way to get to know Bristol. Don't you think? As you can see, I am back in my rooftop caravan, and I have definitely made myself at home. It's really, really small, quite rough around the edges, but I do really kind of like it. It's not what you'd expect to stay in a city centre. I mean, how many people can say they've stayed in a caravan on the top of a roof in the middle of a city centre? I'm going with it, and I'm going to have a really good time here. I forgot how difficult I would find filming in the city, in an urban environment. The normal places I would film and speak to the camera and share what's going on and how I'm feeling. I am in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody around, and it's just countryside, and I haven't really got to worry about other people. Yeah, it's busy. So took a bunch of B-roll because I have had a really fantastic afternoon and evening here in Bristol. I started off by doing the GPS My City tour that I told you about before I left, and that was really good. It picks up 12 different sites, if you like, some key sites. It was just over 2 miles. It took me the 2 hours that's suggested, and I didn't go in all of the places. Quite a lot of the places are museums or special buildings that you can go in and have a look. I use the text-based information on the app, a little bit of history at each point, if it's somewhere I can go in, if it's free, when it's open, all of those things. The one place I did go in was Cabot or Cabot or Cabot, I don't know, the tower, which is at the top of a park. I didn't realise that you'd be able to go all the way to the top for free. Really windy, narrow spiral staircase, which was fun in itself and has some amazing views over Bristol. And that right there proved I'm going to get quite a bit of nature here on my little city break with my little caravan. I also saw my first Banksy. The tour ended harbourside. It's the last day today of the Bristol Harbour Festival with music and all sorts, and I'd seen a couple of bits dotted around during the afternoon when I was on my tour, but the absolute highlight, the Longest Johns were headlining this evening. They are the band that does Wellerman, by the way. They're a sea shanty kind of folk band, but they are so good. They were so good. This is their hometown, their home city. Got myself as close to the front as I could, and I'm really glad I did. Honestly, live music is so good for my soul. I love it so much, and I feel like live music this year is going to be really important to me, and I'm so glad that I happened to book today without really knowing that was happening. Fantastic. And if you do spot the Longest Johns playing live somewhere near you, go. It was so much fun. Then I went for dinner, a Turkish restaurant called Cappadocia, and I had a pide, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. The service was great. Eating out's a bit weird. I am not unpracticed at eating out on my own. It's something that I have done quite a lot, I guess, especially hiking, because I always end up in a pub for dinner. So it's not unheard of, but that was hard this evening because apart from anything else, my husband would have really enjoyed the Longest Johns. Yeah, I just need to be kind to myself. I find cities quite overwhelming anyway. Yeah, I left here at about 4 o'clock and it's now well gone 9, and I've just got back, which to be honest is unheard of for me. Yeah, I'm just gonna relax for the rest of the evening in my little caravan. I'm keeping an eye just in case the sunset pops, and I'll go and get a picture or two. I'm gonna eat a bit more of my Terry's mint chocolate orange, and then I think it's probably time for bed. Happy Monday. This particular Quirky stay is a Sunday to Tuesday affair. Had a good sleep, or reasonable sleep I'd say. Not the best sleep ever, but a really good sleep. The bed's very comfortable. The shower is excellent. It's just really, really small in here. Obviously being a caravan, there's no real soundproofing. Can't really hear people talking. Can hear the noise of Bristol going on. So there's air conditioning units on the top of the building next door. They shut off at about 11 o'clock. Not a real problem overnight, but you know, you get that sort of hum all day. And then there was some party, and you know it's a party when they're playing YMCA. I think they stopped singing about midnight, so it wasn't so bad. But yeah, reasonable sleep. Being down for breakfast. Now the breakfast was excellent. It was included in my stay because I booked direct. So again, as I said with Money Down last time, you book direct, you often get either discounts or breakfast or something else thrown in, and that's what I got this time is breakfast. I had poached egg and avocado on toast, Greek yogurt with some really good fruit, and of course tea. The plan for today then, 2 things I've booked and paid for already. One is a guided walking tour, which I'm doing over lunchtime, so it starts at 11:30 and it's a couple of hours, and I think it says you walk about 2 miles. I'm hoping it's a bit like the London walks that I really, really love. And then this evening I have tickets booked to see Moulin Rouge, sticking with the Quirky theme, pirates, street art, and then musical at the Hippodrome tonight. Well, it's very quiet. Apparently 10 o'clock on a Monday morning is the time to be in Bristol. I mean, there's a lot of hubbub going on, but it's just people working. I'm just heading to the cathedral to pick up the start of my tour.
Bristol. Just over there, the land slopes down, and on the other side of that office block, you find some... In 1822, and an additional minute hand was added a few Bridges Bridge over the river.
Well, that was a really good tour. Really enjoyed that. My tour guide was Owen. It was a group of about 20 people, and it was called Blackbeard to Banksy, and it was really good. Would recommend. And while my self-guided app-based tour that I did yesterday was really interesting, and I'm very glad I did that, the benefit of today's tour was the guide and the storytelling and the history and all of the stuff that goes with that. At the moment, because obviously I don't think I walk far enough, I never do, I'm just enjoying the Harbourside walk. It goes all the way around, quite far. Somebody told me that if you find yourself on the wrong side of the harbour to where you're meant to be, probably 40 minutes from your destination. It's a really lovely walk. It's a beautiful day. It's meant to rain later, but it's fine at the moment. I am going to need to stop for a cup of coffee and maybe a donut. Fancy a donut. Where can you get donuts in Bristol? I'm going to Google that right now, and yeah. But it's been a lovely morning exploring so far. Quite a lot of street art, quite a lot of architecture, heard lots of stories about the history of Bristol, and it's been fun. Yeah. Well, as you can see, I am back in my rooftop caravan, having had a really lovely day. Just ended up wandering for another couple of hours. Bristol really is a fantastic place to wander on foot. It is big, it's a city, and there is a lot to see, and I know I've really only scratched the surface in this short trip. I think I've seen a fair bit. Again, I said it just now, I would really highly recommend the Blackbeard to Banksy guided tour. Tour guide I had was Owen. He was really fantastic. He spoke very clearly. It was very easy to hear him. He had lots of stories to tell, was willing to answer questions, and took us a bit of a higgledy-piggledy route around Bristol, some of the back alleys, some of the lesser known streets, some of the big hitting places too. Started off at the cathedral. We saw all sorts of things, but obviously concentrating on pirate stories and Banksy stories, as you might imagine. So we saw a few Banksys, and we learned about Blackbeard, who came from Bristol. He seems very proud of that. And we ended up Harbourside. That's where the tour finished. Because that's where we landed, I thought, I'm gonna go and do the Harbourside walk, which took me past SS Great Britain, where I took a slight detour, go and have a look at another Banksy. It's a take on the girl with the pearl earring. And then I carried on the Harbourside walk, went up round Brunel Lock and back down the other side. I did think I wanted a donut. I still do want a donut. I had a look. There was one place that was nearby that I went to have a look at, but they'd run out, which I guess is a good sign. But anyway, they'd run out. So tomorrow will be donut day. I would definitely have rather had a bigger mug. I know what I wanted to tell you. Yesterday, I said when I got here that my quirky stays were about getting a bit of nature and how you can always find nature in the middle of a city. And I've definitely proved that because, and it's Cabot, by the way. I know it's Cabot because that's how Owen said it this morning. I went at Cabot Tower and there was this glorious view, lots of trees, lots of countryside to be seen. So I definitely proved that already. But yesterday evening, in the song set that the Longest Johns sang, they did a folk song all about trees, and it made me so happy, surrounded by all of the city stuff that you get in such a place as Bristol, and we were singing a folk song about trees. Thank you for that, the Longest Johns. You made my quirky stay. I had a really fantastic time at Moulin Rouge. I had a really good evening. It's time for bed. I think maybe I should debrief in the morning. Yeah, let's go to bed. Good night. Well, Well, good morning. Another very comfortable night in my little caravan on the roof in Bristol. I just thought I'd share a few little snippets about what it was like to actually stay here. It's really very small indeed. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if you choose to stay in this one, and this is the smallest of the caravans they have 4 on the roof here, and all of the others are slightly bigger, I would suggest only come to this one on your own. For one person, plenty of room, no problem at all, plenty of space to sort yourself out, get dressed, bed's plenty big enough, spaces to sit, storage, the bathroom's just about okay for one. The only thing about the bathroom, I would say, the tiny sink makes it almost impossible to wash your face without getting water everywhere, but the actual problem with the bathroom is to get on the loo, you have to kind of sit under the sink. So if you are any bigger than me, it's going to be a little bit awkward to kind of get on and off the toilet, if you see what I mean. It's not terrible. They've made excellent use of the space in here, and it means that you've got a proper bathroom rather than having to go and use a communal bathroom, as you might actually do if you were in a real caravan on a campsite. But yeah, really lovely. The guest house is lovely. There's 24-hour reception, really friendly there. Check-in was super easy. Breakfast, fantastic, and I'm just about to go down for breakfast today. It's a really lovely place to stay. And the other thing is, because it's a caravan and you are in the middle of a city, you are sharing the rooftop space with pigeons and seagulls, which again, it's not a problem. It's actually quite nice to hear them at the moment. But in the early hours of the morning when they're trampling on your roof, bang, 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 it's noisy, shall I say. I jest. This is a caravan. It isn't a hotel room. You're getting the quirk, and it's definitely quirky. It definitely fitted the quirky stay bill. Is there anything else I wanted to say about the caravan? I would recommend it, but just know what you're getting into. I said at the beginning, didn't I? It's a bit rough around the edges, and that is true. Not the best maintained. Would I stay at this one again? Probably wouldn't come back to the caravan, but I would definitely come back to Brooks Guest House. But I think for my quirky stay in Bristol, staying in a caravan on a roof of a hotel overlooking the roofs of Bristol, I think it's one and done. And I think that's fair. And then the other thing I wanted to just mention very briefly was how much fun I had at Moulin Rouge last night. What a fantastic show. Really, really fun. Quite a lot of laughs. Obviously, it's a big love story and all of that stuff. Really good fun. Would recommend. So yeah, the plan is to continue with the quirkiness. The Bristol Museum and the M Shed Museum were both closed yesterday because it was Monday. So my plan is to have breakfast, to go to those places. I do also fancy a little trip to the Outkit store, a bit of a light lunch, and then get the train back home. So there'll be a little bit of a montagey thing going on again, but I shall actually finish my talking here. So I shall say, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next quirky stay, which is probably much more what you and I expected my quirky stays would be like. Something a little bit less unusual than a truffle house in the woods and a caravan on a roof, but still, I'm really looking forward to a couple of nights in a little quirky place in a few weeks' time, and I'll see you then.